Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be working on my buddy's 2005 Jeep LJ. Got a whole bunch of stuff going on it, so let me show you what I got going on. So here's the Jeep LJ. I already did some work to it, so I'll give you a quick overview on what I already did. We spray painted the axles. I got the brake lines installed. This is getting a rough country 6-inch long arm kit. We got different bump stops from the ones they give you. Just waiting on the rear control arms to come in. They didn't send that with the kit. Just spray painted some of the old rusty stuff, but they were new calipers. We got some forged track bars going on it. And a major modification, as you can see, is I have cut off the factory rear spring mounts that were welded like this, and we are going to re-weld them on flat, but I think I'm going to save that for another video. Also, I already got the Advanced Adapters slip yoke eliminator kit installed, along with fixing some of the rust and spray painting the skid plate, and also got the rough country long arm link mount in there. So I'm gonna get in to show you guys how I like to set up the long arms with a caster and how it aligns real good. So let's get to it. So the first modification I like to do is on the bump stop. I guess you could call it cup. These are the rear ones, how they have the step on it. The front ones, I have grinded it smooth. I ran into a problem on the last LJ where this was actually contacting the spring. I wish I had time to adjust it. He just wanted to grind it down some. Also, I like to drill these holes out a little bit bigger for the drain hole, because water can just go down in the top and some debris, and there's already some debris in there. So open those up a little bit so we won't get rust, and definitely anything you want to take off and put back on that's a little rusty, bigger the glob, better the job for the anti-seize. So let's get these on there and continue the install. One of the things I forgot to mention is on the long arm kit, you have to cut off the factory mounts for the lower control arms. I've obviously already done that. So let's talk about these front arm, radius arms. First off, I usually set them to what rough country says in the instructions. It'll get you close. Let me get these bolted up and we'll go from there. Got the radius arm just loosely mocked up. You want the bend inward so it'll clear your tires when you're at full lock. The next step, we are going to adjust the bump stops. But before that, I'm gonna get the track bar in and the steering hooked up, and then we're gonna see how far the suspension can actually go before we make contact with something. So another thing in the rough country kit that I already installed is this track bar relocation bracket. It has 2 sleeves that go through the frame and these 2 bolts, and then bolts onto the factory mount. Makes it a little easier. Got the stock or aftermarket forged track bar hooked up, just all loosely so we could test the suspension and try and center the axle, but 6-inch, it's gonna be way up there. So let's jack it up and see what is gonna hit. Yes, I got the 2 little kitties. Got switch and blinker. They're helping me out today. Okay, let's see what we got. It's really close to the exhaust. Where is it touching? Oh, we got the sleeve on the stock steering making contact right here, and everything else and the track bar, which that might be just a little bit off, but I believe that is as far as it's gonna go. Now, let's see these extended bump stops. All right, so that one's just making contact. And this one is, I'd say, about 1 inch off. So I think what I'm gonna do, I know you could buy them, but I'm gonna put about 1 inch spacer. So the bump stop contacts 1 inch before everything else contacts. Let me go make something and we'll be back. So I got it all maxed out again, set up how it was, and with the supplied bump stop spacer, and with the new bump stop, it looks like we're gonna have 1 inch before everything else makes contact. So I think that is gonna be the way to go. I just gotta drill a hole and put the bolt down in there, and we'll go from there. Got those holes drilled. Now let's pop these bump stops in. On some of the reviews, they said these were very difficult to pop in here. So I'll show you a little trick. I use super lube, PTFE lube for all polyurethane bushings and everything. That's what you're supposed to use. Just put a little bit around the edge, and we're gonna use the axle and jack it up, and it's gonna pop it right in there. Let's see. Boop. There it goes. This one, let's go a little more. And there you have it. 1 and 2. The next thing, obviously, is it's pretty far off from the bump stop hitting the pad, and I can see that, but it is going to have this gigantic 6-inch spring in here. So I'm gonna have to adjust that next. So I got the springs in there. One thing you will have to do is remove the bump stop, stick it in the spring, and then get the spring in there and bolt it back in. Makes it a little easier. On this Jeep, I'm actually going to be putting WJ steering on it. So we'll get those knuckles and everything for another video. But as you can see, it is lifting the Jeep off the jack. Spring's almost centered. And we have probably about 4 inches of travel in the front, which isn't the best, but he's not going to be rock bouncing or anything like that. It's just going to be Dana 30, you know. We're going to do gears, just weekend toy. So I'd rather stuff not be bottoming out and take away a little bit of the up travel. It is going to have sway bar disconnects in this kit, so might have to put limiting straps. On my personal Jeep, I have a ZJ, and right now I have the same long arm kit, and it's about 9 inches of lift. It's a mud toy, welded discs, front and rear, 456 gears, and I decided to run it with no sway bar and no limiting straps, and it pulled the shock upper nuts straight through the washers, hitting some decent jumps, and everything flew out of the bottom. So you definitely need limiting straps if you're going to take your sway bar off, because you don't want to depend on the little stud on the shock and this little 14mm nut to go through a washer, which when the weight of the vehicle is pulling on that, let me tell you, it'll go through. On this side of the Jeep, things are looking not as good. The spring's a little more cocked. Once again, I'm probably gonna adjust it more once I get the tires on and stuff. The rear is still on jack stands, so I don't want to get too sketchy lifting the whole Jeep up. So I'll stop there for now, and in the next video I will be cleaning these up, and I still have to cut off the other side. I'll show you how I did that. I'm gonna jack the body up and get in there with the little Dremel on the inside ones. The other side has the fuel lines and the fuel filler neck, so that's gonna be another obstacle we're gonna have to unbolt. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. This is just part 1 of this Jeep build, so I'll be making another video getting the fine adjustments on the suspension, and we're gonna be doing the rear and cutting the spring mounts and stuff and welding those back on. So there's gonna be plenty more to come. Also, just wanted to say, this is my first YouTube video, so I know I say and a lot. I'm getting used to that. I am located in Dania Beach, Florida, so I'll give you a tour of my shop in the next video. I think that'll be cool. Definitely, I rebuilt a whole bunch of it, me and my friend, so I'll give you a little tour. Thanks, and I hope you guys watch the next video.